Hey, what's going on, everyone? Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter here. Recently I did a video going over 10 saints in statue form, and I was telling you some information about how to identify them so that you could figure out which ones might be valuable, help you look them up easier. And I showed you some examples of some of the prices that some of them would go for. And a lot of people expressed interest in additional videos like that. And I kind of laughed when Carl Bach, many of you know Carl from the channel, wrote in the comment section that he would love to see a video about 10 evil things that sell on eBay. So I got cracked up about it, and I thought about how to do it. And I said, rather than doing a video straight up on evil things, because that might be a downer for some people, and given that, I do host battles like thrift battles and stuff on here, and we have the Chichingathon and things, I said, why not do a 10 list kind of battle of good versus evil? So show an example of something that is good and then example of something that is evil right next to it, and see what happens in terms of which one sells better. So I put together a presentation for you, and we're going to go through it in a moment. I do have here representing both sides. I do have the little devil, so have a little something to drink while I'm here. Now, it was originally a hot beverage, but something happened to it along the way while I started filming. And has to do with the opponent over here, St. Francis, as you know. He makes regular appearances on the program every once in a while. And what did you do to that to change that from that hot piping lava-like liquid that I had in there? I changed it to holy water. Okay. So you're already trying to get a leg up in the competition. So we'll have both of them over here. They're kind of having a little stare down right now, and I will share my screen with you, and we'll see what happens here with this battle. So just as a disclaimer before I go over this presentation, a couple things. You will see some things that are religious in nature. That's just natural when you're doing a good versus evil battle. But in no way is this video designed at all to try to preach any particular type of religion. It's really just designed to be informative and educational, and hopefully it can help you, when you go out sourcing. And also, hopefully you get some entertainment and some laughs throughout it as well. Now, it's not all religious. You're going to see some historical things in here as well. And it's not all devoted to one particular type of religion. The statue video was really focused on Roman Catholicism, but you'll see different religions represented here. And again, hopefully you'll find it interesting and you'll learn some things. If there's any complaints about the evil content of this video, I am going to send all of you over to Carl Bach, and you could talk to him about it. Okay. So anyway, let me share my screen here. Now, by the way, you're going to get a sneak preview of the battle. You're going to, until I make the screen big, I've hidden some things. So if you don't want to see what the final sale prices were for these two items, because I have it set up that it's going to show you it at the end. Close your eyes right now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds before I put this on the screen, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still don't look. Don't look. I'll tell you when to look. Okay, I'm still setting it up. Okay, now you can look. All right, open your eyes. And of course, in a battle of good versus evil, how can we not start off with the Holy Bible? And there's many, many versions of the Holy Bible. As you know from watching my sourcing videos, Bibles are one of my favorite things to go out and source. As a general rule, the older the better, and usually the bigger the better. Remember the pulpit Bible sale that I made recently? That was an interesting one. But there's so many different versions, and you could find some pretty old ones out there. I mean, the earliest I have ever found is one from the late 1800s, but this particular Bible here is a King James Bible that dates back to 1619 or 1620. Now, all these things I'm going to show you are things that sold on eBay, and really the value associated with older Bibles, and the advantage that the Bible is going to have in this particular matchup, when you see what it goes up against, is the age of it. I mean, Bibles go back a really long time. The oldest Bible in existence, complete Bible, dates back to the 4th century, and it is stored in the Vatican. In fact, because of that, it's called the Codex Vaticanus. So, but we'll get to the price on this in just a moment. But what's it going to go up against? Well, yes, there is a Satanic Bible. Now, why am I getting an urge to sip from this drink right now? Oh, that was weird. It kind of just forced itself into me. But this is it. There actually is such a thing. Now, it is not as old by any means as the Holy Bible. In fact, the first edition of it, which you could see here, came out in 1969. And it was made by Anton LaVey, who has since passed away. Now, I want to just mention a couple things about this, because there are a lot of myths about the Satanic Bible. Now it's understandable why these myths exist, because after all, it's called the Satanic Bible. So you would think that if you opened it up and read it, that it's devoted to worshiping Satan. And that's really not the case, not in the way that you would think about it, as if they're worshiping like a mythical creature of evil per se. In fact, the beliefs within Satanism don't really believe in any deity, either a god or a Satan type of creature. They use the word Satan from the Hebrew root word of Satan is adversary. And so they use the character, the idea of Satan as one that extols the virtues. In fact, they look at him as a positive character in their view, as someone who promotes pride and individualism and defiance of Western religions that they feel suppresses the natural instincts of humanity. And so if you go within that book, it's about it's not as big as the Holy Bible. It's about a 279 page book or so. There's 4 books within it. And, it covers things like rituals and spells, and it does cover some things good, but it also does cover some things that you would consider or associate with evil. Like it covers things like lust and destruction and stuff. So I'm still going to classify it this way, given the name and given that it's the most natural kind of opponent that you would think of to the Bible. And it's something, by the way, that you can definitely come across. Both of these things are things that you can find. You'll see on the cover here, there's a pentagram in pink. I'm going to refer back to that later, so just try to remember that. But in terms of the actual values of these, this one sold for $1,600, the Holy Bible, and the Satanic Bible, not even close. $47.50. Yay! St. Francis is very excited. He's got a 1-point victory so far. This is we're going 10 rounds here, so we'll see what happens next. Now, I will mention with this, I did not try and preordain this in any way, no pun intended with that word, but I just took concepts that came to mind, and literally this is the order that they came to my mind that you're going to see them here. So I just seriously just put them in that order. So we'll see what happens. So now here's the next one, and this goes to statues. I covered statues of saints in the prior video I referred to, but I did not cover the statue of Jesus. Now, I've always joked on my channel that Virgin Mary statues sell way better than Jesus statues, and that's true. But there can be some good money in Jesus statues, and this one in particular, you will see that there is a red heart on him, and that is referred to as the Sacred Heart, and that does carry some religious significance. This is a 29-inch wood carved statue, and this one dates back to 1890. So that is definitely a really, really nice statue right there. And there are statues out there of Lucifer, Satan, demons. They're not always referred to as Satan per se. Many cultures have different representations of that type of character. Even the Mayan culture, for example, has a representation of that character, which you could see here. This is a 40-inch statue, so it is bigger. And this particular statue is is very interesting. It also kind of serves as a fountain because you pour water down his mouth and it comes out, well, yeah, it comes out in another area. So as you could see, and you can see that he's really bent on destruction. So he's got the snake in one hand and looks like a scythe in the other hand. Although that's what it is. But some people could look at it as like almost kind of looks like a big stick of dynamite too. But that's not what it is. But anyway, it's bright red, colorful. Now, you could guess out loud, make some guesses in advance. Which one do you think sold better? You could even put it in the comment section before I show. You could pause this, put it in the comment section, and see if you're right or not. So you could put a little guess right there. Did the Jesus statue sell for more, or the Satan and the demon statue? Well, here's the answer right here. This Jesus statue sold for $5,000, and the Satan demon statue, well, it came closer than the Satanic Bible to the Holy Bible, but still just not quite there. $2,750. But, it is instructive because a lot of people, again, as I've shown in many of my estate sale videos, will pass up religious statues. Don't pass them up. And by the way, I'm not telling anyone if you saw the Satanic Bible or saw something like this that you should sell it. You might not want to sell. You might not be comfortable. It could really conflict with your own religious values and stuff. So by all means, stay away from it if you don't want to. I'm just here to provide the information for you and just show you some of the details and stuff. So we're gonna go on to number 3. St. Francis is doing a happy dance here. He is excited. He's got a 2-0 lead over the little devil here. So I'm gonna take another little sip. You're behind, man. You're behind. You made me wear this shirt today and everything. And so now, this is not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you. Let's see what happens. So, okay. Now, as I told you, this isn't all going to be religious. I'm really looking in this video of personifications of the battle of good versus evil throughout cultures. And, I'm going to focus a lot on Western society, but I will, cover some other areas as well. And, in movies, one of the best representations of this battle is Luke Skywalker on one side, and who he's going to go against in a moment. I'll put him up, but I want you to pay attention to this because this is very important. This could really make you a lot of money if you ever find one of these. What this says here, and you'll see the abbreviation a lot when you look into these types of toys, you'll see that it says DT lightsaber from 1977. Now, I have had many of the 1977 Luke Skywalker toys, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Darth Vader ones, and they came with lightsabers. Now, if you've ever used them before, you see there's this little part right here that comes off right over there, right? You see that? So normally they are snapped off because they're just kind of like, they're very light, they're very flimsy, and a lot of times they just go missing. So it's very common to just find them without that little flimsy plastic stem at the end of it. But they actually, in some of the earlier models, they made what they call double telescoping ones. So in other words, this will actually retract into here. So if you ever find a lightsaber like that retracts into it, in fact, even if you just found the lightsaber itself, that would be very, very valuable. How valuable? I'll show you in a minute. And they actually have the same exact thing for Darth Vader, some earlier models. You're more likely to find it for Luke Skywalker, by the way. But this one sold for $17,500, and the Darth Vader one sold for $25,000, with it being more rare. So there we go, getting on the table here. Evil gets represented a little bit here. So Darth Vader coming through. He is pumped up on that one, and we're going to move on to the 4th battle. But always look for that double telescoping lightsaber. Could be huge money for you in your reselling business. Okay, so now we're going to go to another movie. I love movies. I'm a big movie fan. And here we've got Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and this is one representation of her, which is on coins. Now, these particular coins were made through on Cook Island, which is actually a series of islands, and they're known for making silver coins. They have a lot of great silver smithing production facilities over there, and they make a lot of these types of exclusive coins for other countries. Now, it only has a $5 face value. It's an early release. It's a proof. You can see there it's graded and everything. And it actually has Swarovski crystals inside of it, 13 for those ruby slippers to make it, look really nice and shiny. So it's a really neat coin, and it's one of the higher representations of Dorothy that's out there. Now, keep in mind, by the way, this is not meant to be a scientific competition at all. It's just meant to be, what I could find over the past 90 days on eBay, try to find the best representation. So it's possible, at a different time period, different set of months, that you might find different results. It, of course, is going to be dependent on what is available on eBay. But this particular coin came out in 2017. And we're going to battle up against, of course, the Wicked Witch. Wicked Witch here. She is in the house. This is a talking Halloween prop. You could pretty much tell the size there because it's sitting on a couch. So it is pretty large. Which one do you think is going to win? If you want to put your vote down in the comment section, of course, you could pause it at any time, put your vote in there and then come back and see if you are correct. Well, the coin sold for $500. How many of you think the Wicked Witch beat that? Let's see. The Wicked Witch won $685. Oh, yeah, St. Francis. So they are going at it. They are tied. It is 2-2. Good versus evil is tied up. Who is going to win this in the end? I mean, this is just getting crazy. So let's go on to number 5. This one will split the difference right here. So we've got the crucifix. Now, this is another religious item that I look for at estate sales. They're commonly found in bedrooms. Of course, this is a really big crucifix. It's a French crucifix. It's 21.5 inches, made of a combination of enamel and onyx. And with the crucifix, the main things that you're looking for is really the craftsmanship behind it. And so this being made of enamel and onyx is big in terms of factoring into the value. The bright colors are a nice added feature. You don't always have to have the body of Christ on the crucifix. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it will be on there, of course, but not other times. It really just depends. The other thing is the size. Size does matter when it comes down to the crucifix. So as a general rule, the bigger the crucifix, the larger the sum of money you will be able to sell it for. In terms of what to go against it with, I was thinking of the pentagram because you saw that earlier on the cover of the Satanic Bible. But if you look back in history, the pentagram is really not always something that's universally associated with evil. In fact, it has been used to represent the 5 wounds of Christ, and it has been used by Freemasons, for example. If you watch The Curse of Oak Island, you could see some TV shows, one of my favorite shows. But it has been associated often with magic, typically in Wiccan type of magic. So what I just decided to use is something else, something that's more uniformly associated with something that's generally considered evil or bad. And these are the TWANAS or stickmen from the Blair Witch Project movie, which were used. They're basically these mysterious types of stick figures that are used when different spells are made in the movie for black magic. And so basically, and you could see here that it is a 5-pointed symbol, and it's got the center triangle pointed down. That's how you would identify it. So if you see on the Blair Witch Project items that are out there, like this hat, you'll see it on there. In fact, right now I have an exclusive comic book for sale in my eBay store with a certificate of authenticity. It's a glow-in-the-dark cover, and it has on the cover, you will see the TWANAS / Stickman figure that's on there. So which one sold for more? You probably could figure this one out. $2,500 for the crucifix. Blair Witch Project hat doesn't even come close. $150. So good comes out victorious there. St. Francis is pumped up, but the little devil has not quite given up yet. and is hoping for a comeback when He-Man comes into the battle in round number 6. Now, He-Man is the first real true action play figure that I used when I was a kid. In fact, you see that comic book behind there? They all came with a mini comic book. That comic book, which came out in 1982, is the first comic book I ever read, and that really started me off on my whole focus on collecting comic books. And every figure had a comic book associated with it. Absolutely loved it. So that is an original. It is in the package, and you could see the condition on it. It's incredible. The other thing you'll notice, if you look close, right up here, there's a little hole there where it would hang on the peg, and it's unpunched. That's critical to helping it with its value that you're going to see in a minute, because it was never actually put out on display in the store. So collectors absolutely love stuff like that. There's no creasing on the card, anything like that, holes, nothing like that. So of course, He-Man is going to go up and battle Skeletor. And this is a specific type of Skeletor that is very difficult, challenging to find. His name is Laser Light Skeletor. And you can see here that he does have a light up function there in his wrist there. And you'll also be able to identify him based on this gold trim that's on both his boots and his chest. Normally, Skeletor doesn't have that kind of gold look on him. You usually see like a purplish color or something on him, like his cape. This one came out as an exclusive in Europe in 1988, so it's not quite as old as the He-Man figure. Which one do you think is more money? Which one of these two? The He-Man or the Skeletor figure? Now, I should mention this Skeletor figure also was graded. It received a grade of 50. So which one was sold for more money on eBay? He-Man sold for $3 grand, and the Skeletor figure very close, $2,600. But Good now has a 2-point lead. St. Francis doing a happy dance once again. We have got a battle going on here. It's not over, St. Francis. You were up 2-0 before, and then, the little devil came back. So we got to see what happens here. We're going to go into the next round. So in this one, we're going to go and we're going to deal with historical figures, real historical figures. Winston Churchill, of course, Prime Minister of England, very famous in many pictures for smoking that big fat cigar. And there actually was one of his cigars and the cigar case that was sold on eBay that contained provenance. So in other words, it had documentation with it that proved that this once did belong to Winston Churchill. He actually gave it to a member of the British Parliament. His name was Roderick Bowen, and it came with a handwritten letter of authenticity from Roderick Bowen saying that this was given to him at a certain event. They had like a copy of the menu that took place, and actually this originally was sold on Sotheby's, and they actually had a receipt of that. So there are all these things to prove the authenticity of it. So now, who is obviously Winston Churchill's main nemesis, and really the purest representation of evil that we have in modern culture, which is Adolf Hitler. Now, you have to be very careful with selling Hitler items or anything that really represents hate on eBay. A lot of people don't even want to mess with it and won't even sell anything like it. But there are some things allowed. For example, there are stamps, postage stamps with Adolf Hitler's face on it. Those are totally legitimate and allowed to sell on eBay, whereas other things are not. So you have to look through. eBay recently revised their policy on it. You've got to check it out. Now, I don't have anything that was personally owned by Hitler that was sold recently to compare to Churchill, but this is a pretty rare historical item. This one here is known as the Youth Triangle, and if it looks like a Boy Scouts outfit to you, there's a reason for that, because actually this was used, they called it Hitler's Youth. They were basically a replacement organization for the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts organization was actually banned by Hitler's Germany, and they replaced it. They wanted another kind of organization to kind of brainwash the youth into believing in his philosophy. And so this is one of the patches from that, the triangle, and it has part of the other aspects of the outfit with it too. So which one of these do you think sold for more? The Winston Churchill one or the Hitler one? So we've got $3,000 again as the sale price for the Winston Churchill personal cigar and the case. And the Hitler one only came in at $800. So Hitler got wrecked on this one. Winston Churchill kicked some butt again with that stiff upper lip. And now, you know, the little devil's looking in a lot of trouble here. And St. Francis is pretty happy. Looking like good will triumph over evil here, but we'll see. Let's go into the next battle that we've got here. We've got Batman. Batman, you knew I had to throw something comic book in here. And comic book art, let me tell you, comic book art, the money in comic book art is absolutely crazy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's really considered, a lot of people consider it, they call them doctor and lawyer items, because that's who tends to spend the type of money that you're going to see here in a moment on this piece, which was made by Jim Lee from The Dark Knight Returns. Limited edition, original art. Jim Lee is one of the most famous artists in comics, so anything by him is going to contain a very high price tag. You could see there holding the Batman helmet right there, the Batman mask. Now, you could argue that Batman's not really a pure force of good because, you know, after all, they do call him the Dark Knight. But in general, you know, the way people generally think about him in society is, you know, Batman does fight against the bad guys. He's the Caped Crusader. And then, you know, he's going against who? Who's he going against? Well, who's his main enemy? Of course, we've got the Joker. And this is very interesting what I'm going to show you here. This might look like a comic book to you, and it is technically part of a comic book, but it's only the first page. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I've talked to you about graded comic books and the grading scale from 1 to 10. You don't see a 0 to 10. You don't see a number there. It says PG. That's not a reference to a rating like a movie. That literally means page, okay? That is literally one page of the comic, okay? That's Batman #1 from 1940, showing the first ever appearance of the Joker. How cool is that? But that just goes to show you, you could just get one page actually sent in and framed, and you know they'll comment on it and they'll preserve it. They're not really grading it because, again, it's a page, so you can't really grade it. You know, they're certifying it and protecting it for the future. So which one of these do you think sold for more money? The Batman one or the Joker one? Let's see. You can put your comment down below if you want to ahead of time, then go back later and check and see how you did. Well, oh, there we go. $16,900. Now, if you think that that's absolutely one of these crazy eBay prices that no one ever paid, I'm going to tell you that's absolutely not true. Go look at any online auction site. Go look at places like Sotheby's and look at places like Comic Link. There's so many, Heritage. Just go and look at how much comic art sells for. This is completely within the realm of what the market value is for this type of stuff. It's crazy what the prices go for some types of comic art. The Joker came in at a respectable $6,300 for just one page that had damage to it on the corners and on the sides. There's rips and stuff, and you know there's gouges and things, but you know, not close to that 16 grand. So good wins once again and beats the evil of the Joker. We're moving on to the next round here. It's not looking good for the evil side. I'm going to take another sip of water. Getting down to the bottom here. We've got Harry Potter, of course. A great series of movies. Mrs. Primetime is a huge fan of the Harry Potter movies. And many of you know this poster, the undesirable #1. But this one actually was a screen prop poster and actually was used. It has pinholes on it, and it has a certificate of authenticity that it comes with. So I didn't go with any of the Harry Potter books, which some of those could go for more than what I'm going to show you here because that's the whole book. I wanted to get something that was more specific to Harry Potter himself to represent, you know, someone really wanting to pay for that character and that character's likeness. And so he's obviously going to go against, well, I know he should not be named. I shouldn't say his name. I'm going to go say his name anyway. I feel the power of goodness on my side. St. Francis is protecting me here. We're going to go and say Voldemort. Voldemort, that's right. There he is. Carl Bach's going to love this because he loves these heads and these Halloween masks and stuff, and that's what that is. It's a silicone mask of Voldemort. In terms of the prices, $1,600 for Harry Potter. Now, does Voldemort come in and beat that? Does he beat that? Yes or no? No. $1,000 less. $600 for Voldemort. So what I'm looking for each of these are the highest priced examples that I can see for this, the specific, character or likeness that I'm looking for on eBay in the last 90 days. So we're going to end it off with the Hindu religion. As I mentioned in my video on the saints, studying the religions of Asia was one of my favorite classes, if not probably my favorite class that I took in college. Absolutely fascinated by the subject, and I might actually do a video dedicated to the topic if there are people who are interested in that, so just let me know. So Ganesh is one of the main characters you absolutely have to know, especially if you're going to estate sales. You're going to come across him, and if you're just not familiar, if all you know about is Western religion, you're going to pass this by every time, and it really does have value. Now, this is a higher priced example, but Ganesh is the god of good fortune. And he basically will, he'll basically help you out. He provides prosperity, provides opportunities for success. And a lot of people will have, in Hindu culture, will have him on the door, in the kitchen area, or somewhere on the wall in the main area when you walk into the house. When I used to work for a contractor in New Jersey, when we used to do painting and home repair work, we used to go to a lot of homes of people who practice the Hindu religion, and we used to see Ganesh all the time. He is the most wide known of the Hindu gods in Western culture, but still, there are a lot of people who still might not be familiar with him. Now, once in a while, he could be a little mischievous. So, if someone needs to be checked, like if they're getting a little too big for their britches, Ganesh will also put some obstacles in that person's place too. So he could do that, but he's generally looked at as a god of goodness. So this is a 7-inch porcelain statue limited to 3,000 ever made. And he's going against the god of evil in the Hindu culture, Kali / Durga. Now, they're really thought of as the same. Sometimes they're referred to as Kali Durga. Durga actually became so enraged that Kali burst from her forehead in one of the stories. But again, they're really considered synonymous. There's multiple different representations of Kali, but this is one of them here. You see it's a 16-inch brass statue. Now, there's not really, in the Hindu culture, there's not another like if you want to think of Kali as the devil, there's not like a Western god in Hindu culture that literally, kind of goes directly against Kali. So you've got to just keep that in mind. There is a holy trinity within the Hindu culture, and but again, there's not like a pure benevolent godlike character or deity there that you could directly contrast it to, which is again why I picked Ganesh to go against. So this one sold for $2,200 for Ganesh, and the Kali one sold for $573. So there you have it, folks. I mean, that is really a clear and decisive victory for the powers of goodness. Oh, look at him. He is pumped up. He is doing the happy dance. He is so excited. You got to control yourself, man. You're made of ceramic and you're going to break. So if you like this video, let me know down below. And what's that? Yeah, I know. 8-2. You won 8-2. He's pumped up. So he's going to be talking smack the entire time. The Tasmanian devil is pretty bummed out, but the Santa Claus is pretty happy. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Again, I could do other ones like this in the future. I'm sorry I ran a little long, but there's just a lot of stuff to go over. And what is that? What is that? What do you want to tell me? Oh boy, he is happy, but he's starting to have a little complex. He does miss St. Anthony, if you remember. What's the problem? What do you want? It's not really fair. St. Anthony, He sold within about a week for $125, and I'm still sitting in your eBay store for $39.99. I know. I'm sorry, but what can I tell you? You're providing comfort to the others around here. The cup is mine. That's not for sale. Taz is not for sale. I do have the Santa Claus up if anyone's interested in that. But again, I hope you like the video. And the shirt is mine too. That I don't wear too often, but for this video, it was appropriate. So hit the thumbs up. I hope you like it, and I'll see you back the next one, everyone. Take care.